There we go. And welcome to the collapse experiment. Man, I do need to get a different camera. And of course, the heating system kicked on while I am going live. So that is awesome. Today, I will be talking about two missing person cases that recently happened here in upper lower peninsula Michigan. I know it gets confusing. Our state is weird because it's split in two. So both of these cases happened just outside of Traverse City, south of Traverse City. Um, and there's some interesting facts about both of these cases. The first one is a gentleman named Dean Barnes. He's a military veteran. Um, from my understanding, gathering information off the internet as I could, he spent some time being homeless, finally got back on his feet, got a job, place to stay, was able to buy a truck, and recently came into some money issues, health concerns, and December 1st disappeared. So, yeah, he's still missing as far as I know. I haven't heard any other updates. I know that the state police has been out to the East Creek Reserve outside of Mayfield where his truck was found. Um, they've been out there several times. There's also been a uh, rescue team, a backpack group that does search and rescue in our state. They've been out there twice that I know of trying to search the area with no luck. The other interesting thing is a month and a half later, after Dean goes missing, a woman goes missing. She's from Traverse City. Tristan Dostal. And she disappeared January 17th. She was last seen at another preserve. I believe it's a preserve. I don't know. There's two different things. There's a preserve and a reserve, and there's like a subtle difference as to the classification, which somebody had told me earlier what it was. Downstate, everything is a preserve. So to come up here and hear that these places were referred to as reserves, found that pretty interesting. But yeah, she was last seen January 17th, and they spent a day and a half searching for her before they actually did find her. That's the big difference between these two stories. What I thought was strange was when I found out about her case, I looked at the map, and she's literally 3 miles away from where Dean Barnes had gone missing. Like a 45-minute walk from two separate parks areas, public land areas, but not far from each other at all, and about a month and a half apart. So Dean was definitely dealing with some personal life issues. 51 years old. Things don't appear to be getting better. I have some theories on that, which I'll share towards the end of this. And as for Tristan Dostal, so I did some sleuthing on her. I have a feeling, and this isn't confirmed, there might have been some mental health issues. She was 36, single, no kids. She has one video on YouTube, and right away I was seeing some red flags. She was doing a tarot card reading, and hey, if you're into that kind of stuff, okay, cool, that's your thing. Me personally, anybody I know who is into that kind of thing, trying to direct their lives through playing with cards, there's usually something, some type of mental health issue that's associated with this. I'm not saying everybody who dabbles in this is crazy, but when she was reading the cards, the second or third card that she pulled out was the death card. Okay, no big deal, whatever, it's a card. She went on about how this meant that there was going to be a sudden change in her life. There was going to be, yeah, a death, a rebirth. She said that it was going to be more associated with rebirth, yada, yada, yada. And when you watch the video, it went from when I found the video, there's only 9 views. It had been on there for I believe 4 months. 9 people had viewed it. By the time I checked it over again, it was up to like 40. So obviously, other people have been looking into this. She did not look well, unkept. Definitely didn't seem mentally cognitive, if you will. Just seemed kind of distraught. So I think overall, I mean, they did find the body. Uh, they did state that there was an investigation. They said that she was deceased, but that it was still being investigated. But that just leads me to believe that they wanted to make sure that it was a suicide. So it's unfortunate, but for some reason, south of Traverse in the last 2 months, there's a very, very real possibility that 2 people decided to just walk out into the woods and delete themselves. I don't know. I know YouTube is very cautious about what can be said on this platform. So, anyways, theories about Dean Barnes. I have two. The first one is a very obvious one. Things aren't going well. He doesn't see things getting any better. He had also mentioned to his veteran friends that when his time came, that he would park his car, go out in the woods, and nobody would ever see him again. And yes, that is my shitty home heating system that is in the background here. So, yeah, that is the one theory. And it seems to be the most obvious one. However, I am looking into the possibility because a body has yet to have been found, um, which is also a very real possibility. If he did decide to delete himself, then there is the possibility that the woods would take care of it. It happens all the time up here in Michigan. People go out into the woods and there's not a trace. The issue I have with that theory is that there's no clothes, there's no shoes. Uh, where's the gun? Because they did say that he's known to have a pistol with him, but he's not a threat. So yeah, no trace other than that. So theory number two, life isn't going good. He spent several years homeless. And if there's one thing I learned about the homeless population from living in Kalamazoo, it's that they would prefer to be homeless than actually have responsibilities. Life is easier. You don't have to worry about paying your bills, having your stuff taken from you, losing your job. Life seems a lot easier when you're homeless. Uh, So there's the possibility he could have been looking at his situation and said, screw it, I'm checking out, just not in the way that some people check out. Um, he could have just decided that he's going to go back to being homeless and, just walk away, make people think that he's dead, which would make being homeless a lot easier because then there's nobody pursuing him for past bills, expenses. I do believe that he was paying child support. He had 2 sons. One was 23. One is 23. The other is 14. So he's still paying child support on one of them. But if he can make people believe that he's dead, he no longer has to worry about that. And that would be the sole purpose of just going back to not having a home. Um, so there's that very real possibility as well. And Yeah, that's the story of Dean Barnes. The other reason I'm almost leaning more towards the second theory is that I did when I went out to the woods, as you might know from my previous video, when I went out to the reserve, I did it for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to see what this place was like if somebody could actually get lost. And I highly doubted, with this guy being an avid hiker, fisherman, that he would go out into this area and get lost. Like, that just doesn't seem like a possibility. And sure enough, it's a place that you can easily navigate. It's not that large. Yeah, there's just like any other place, there's the spots where you have to be cautious, where you could seriously get hurt. But then again, it's nothing you couldn't crawl out of. So, um, left me with a lot of questions. The other thing was, I did come across the cell phone. I did turn it in. It did turn out to be his, but it was an older phone that he had previously used, which also left more questions. So, an older cell phone isn't going to have that much value, but a newer cell phone, if it's the type where you could just take the card out and sell it to somebody else for some extra cash, um, you wouldn't be able to trace it. Somebody else could therefore use it, um, because switching out the card changes ownership. It changes accounts. So uh, there's that very real possibility too. A couple extra $100, $50, whatever. Throw out the old cell phone, leave people to believe that you walked out in the woods. Yeah, end of story. So, anyways, that's two different recent cases of missing people in northern lower Michigan. And yeah, it was interesting to see just how close the two of them were in proximity to each other. I know that a lot of people are watching these missing 411 documentaries. There's the books. Um, David Paulides, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. He's really big on these clusters, and so that really stood out to me, was like how close they were in proximity to each other. But this wasn't they had necessarily gone missing. This was they wanted to go missing, particularly in Dean's case. Either way, whether he's still out there in those woods one way or another, or if he just decided to check out of society, um, he wanted to go missing. As for Tristan, she definitely had her own agenda. Um, the other thing I noticed from her video was that she was really big on the woke agenda, and she was really big on the environment and climate change and how we needed to change things. And this could be a totally separate topic, but I have a feeling, and um, this has come up in several different instances recently, where people have talked about needing to reduce the population of the planet. And this isn't just like a Bill Gates thing. This is like average everyday people talking about people need to stop having kids. We need to somehow lower the population and yada yada yada. I believe it was Jordan Peterson got in trouble recently for when somebody was saying we need to help with reducing the population. He responded with "you first," because it was very obvious what this person was talking about, right? And it's funny how these people, the same ones that are deciding to not have kids, they're openly not contributing to um, furthering the human species, if you will, uh, they feel like they had this moral high ground to stick around. When in reality, if they really believed in the BS that they're speaking, they would delete themselves. That's really the final solution. The final solution, right, if you will, when it comes to climate change, is if these people really believed in what they were saying, you would have like the Bilderberg Group or the World Economic Forum would be passing Kool-Aid around to each other, right? Oh no, we contributed to global warming and how dare we go around in our private jets meeting about how we're going to get rid of the plebes, right? Um, so it would not surprise me if there was like this weird moral dilemma that she had going on of like, what is the purpose of my existence? How am I helping? Would the world be a better place without me? Um, and I think we're possibly going to see a lot more of this. I mean, if Greta Thunberg became even crazier than she is now, there might be like moments of like public displays of this type of thing. So, anyways, that's this is going to be a short video. So, unless anybody has any questions, um, I don't really have anything else other than that when it comes to these two cases. There really wasn't all that much. Dean just seemed to be a guy that he did suffer from PTSD, so another contributing factor. I don't even know which branch of the military he was in. I'm guessing possibly the Navy or the Marines, just because he did post on Facebook a picture of a cot on a Navy vessel. And as we know, the Marines do travel around with the Navy. So there's the possibility that he could have been one or the other. So, and it did state if you called this home at any period of time, post this picture. So doesn't seem like he was a stranger to that kind of living. So, anyways, that's about it for me. Hope everyone is doing well and keep on typing.